Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, the 20th of November, 2020. All about the 20s. And, you know, the last time we had a Friday, the 20th this year was back in March, when markets were in a very different place, something of a free fall at that time. And it was literally just one business day, I think, before the Fed stepped in to support bonds and by extension risk assets in the US, and we started on that rebound that we've been on through the summer. I'm not here to tell you about that. I'm here to tell you about more recent news in global markets. And suffice to say that this week we've had something of an extension of the previous week. We came into this week on the back of the very good positive news of the vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine, the Pfizer-BioNTech tie-up vaccine last week, which lifted risk assets quite meaningfully and initiated this big intra-market rotation as well into more cyclical names. We saw a lot of the stay-at-home stocks, as they're known, the likes of Zoom and Netflix, for example, which were pulling back a little bit on that vaccine news. So this week we've had more vaccine news, more positive news on the Moderna vaccine, around a 94% efficiency rate, and that has led to a pullback in the more sort of haven assets. Of areas like the US dollar and gold, for example, and we've seen the VIX index come back to sort of the low 20s as well, which is really quite a retreat from those very extended levels that we got to earlier in the year. Bonds, interestingly, are a little bit higher. They sold off very aggressively last week, broadly across the world. Actually, it wasn't just treasuries. Yields had lifted quite a long way higher, as they have done in recent months, to be fair. So there was a little bit of money creeping back into global bond markets this week. Hasn't been a huge amount of data, certainly not out of the US. There was a retail figures that came in a little bit under expectations. But with the renewed lockdown and arguably on the COVID side, yes, we do have the vaccine on the one hand, but the rates of infections, etc., are still very bad and have been continuing to rise, and we've seen that in Europe as well, and in the UK. At a UK level, more specifically, we have the ongoing Brexit negotiations as well. We don't have a deal yet. That is still being battled out. We're still hopeful that something happens there. But as well as having some dollar weakness, I think there has been some sterling strength coming through on the back of expectations for an 11th hour deal. That does need to happen really quite soon, I think. But sterling has crept higher, not quite back to the highs that we got to a couple of months back, but it has been creeping higher. And I think if we do get some kind of a deal, or we just know where the land lies, then businesses and people can plan a bit more effectively through 2021. So I'm going to wrap it up there. It's a brief summary. I think the positive sentiment continues. I hope that continues through into next week as well, and as we get towards Christmas time. I wish you all a very good weekend and look forward to speaking to you again soon.